Hey everyone, Andrew Southworth here. So first of all, thanks for joining my Studio Pass thing here. This is going to be kind of like an introduction video, just so you can get to know me better. I'm going to make it pretty casual. I'm not like pre-scripting or pre-planning anything. Just want to make it more like a conversation. So, my name is Andrew Southworth, if you didn't gather that by now. This is my home studio. I don't know the order I'm going to be showing all the videos in the Studio Pass thing, so I don't know if I would have showed you the tour already, but we'll get some modular synthesizers here, some fun synthesizers here, more fun synthesizers here, and then that's my logo up there, which I actually happen to be wearing one of my shirts. I have a ton of these. It's at the point now where sometimes I'll have a fun shirt idea and I won't even want to sell it. I'll just want it for myself, so I'll just go make it and order it. So most of the shirts I wear are mine. Every so often I'll be wearing Disney shirts as well. I have a lot of Disney shirts. Because me and my girlfriend go to Disney World a lot. But anyways, rambling already. So my name's Andrew Southworth, and I make music. I've been making music since I was 12 years old, and I'm 29 now. I'll be turning 30 this year, so getting up there. Still a young guy, but it's gonna feel weird when I turn 30 because I still feel kind of like a kid. But I've been making music for a while, 17 years. And I guess I'll just start kind of at the beginning and work up to now so you kind of have an idea of where I'm coming from. When I was 12, my parents divorced, and my mom thought it would be a cool idea to put me into guitar to distract me from the downsides of being a child where your parents are getting divorced. And it worked, and I already had some interest in learning guitar, and I really just became completely consumed with it. It's all I did. I remember at the point where friends would call me to hang out and be like, "Oh, I can't, I'm busy," and they'd be like, "We literally see you in your room playing guitar right now." I would play 8 hours a day. I was obsessed. And at some point along the way, I think it was 8th grade or something, or maybe 7th grade, I had a school project. And I think I was doing bad in the science class, which is funny because I was really bad in school back then, but now I have a master's degree in engineering. So it's kind of funny how that turned out. But I was doing bad in the science class at the moment, and the teacher said, "Oh, we're doing this project. You can do this, do something for extra credit." And so I made a song for the project and performed it in front of the class, and that's what got me through the class. And that was the first time I really tried learning how to sing. So I had to it was awful, of course, but it made me try to learn how to sing. And from then, I got an acoustic guitar, and I started writing songs and doing the singer-songwriter thing. I went to open mic nights, watched, played eventually. Eventually, I hosted my own open mic nights. This was all my teenage years, 15, 16, 17. And at some point along the way in high school, I met some friends who did music, and we started a band. And the band was called Redefining Voice. You could probably dig something online about it. We were awful. We were a high school band. We did some Battle of the Band stuff, and I feel by the very end, right before we stopped as that band, we were starting to find a sound and get better. We still weren't good by any means, but we were starting to figure it out. That took me all the way through high school and a little bit afterwards. And I'm still actually very good friends with the people in that band, and we still make music together nowadays, but under a different name, different style of music. That was rock kind of music. We started doing a little bit more metal stuff near the end. And I guess around the same time period, guitar was my obsession at the time. And it was my childhood dream to go to Berklee College of Music. And, I applied. I had to submit a video performance. Maybe I'll link on this page somewhere what that video performance was, because it is on YouTube. And they invited me for a interview / audition. So I went to Berklee for the audition, and they had to do a lot of cool things. Part of it was they had you read sheet music, which wasn't my strong suit, but then also they just wanted to see you perform what you performed in the video. They wanted you to kind of jam with one of the instructors, so they'd kind of play some chords and you'd make music over it, and they would kind of tap some rhythms and you'd have to respond to them. They kind of just wanted to see how qualified you were, or how experienced you were at your instrument and music in general. And then I got accepted, and it was very exciting. That was kind of like my childhood dream to go to Berklee. But we didn't have the money to afford it. It was like $60,000 a year, something like that. And there's no way we could afford it. So I didn't go, which was heartbreaking at the time. In hindsight, probably was the best thing to ever happen to me, because instead of going to school for music and being a broke musician working at Starbucks, instead of that happening, I ended up working at Starbucks through college. And after I graduated, I got a sweet engineering job, mechanical engineering job right out of college. And then I ended up getting my master's degree in mechanical engineering. And there was a few, through college, I just got so consumed. Like, even though I love music, I kind of fell in love with engineering. And it became another passion of mine. And that's why you might see me make mention to like 3D printing and drones, because like I really became a nerd for that stuff. Like I some hobbies of mine outside of music, I do like photography and other creative things, but I also just love like 3D printers and tinkering with like robots and machines and I guess flying drones and designing stuff and even programming and learning how to program new things in software. So I'm a huge nerd, but through that I kind of stopped making music as much. I still did it for fun with friends, but I never was really doing anything as much as I was before, until I finished my master's degree. So through college, I was doing a little bit. I got a job. I did even less. And then I was doing my master's degree while working full time. So that was no time. And then I finished it. And I was like, wow, I have so much more time back. Let's try to actually take music like seriously. Because before I was doing it all for fun and I was spending a lot of time in it, but I never thought, like, how can I turn this into something that could be like a business, like treat it seriously, have it actually go somewhere. And up until this point, I was pretty much always doing rock and metal. And I still love rock and metal. Most of the music I listen to is rock and metal. But I started also loving electronic music and even pop music, which in the past I kind of used to hate. But I guess, you change as you get older. And especially, I got, over the years, I got really interested in recording and production and making sounds and making things sound good. And a lot of the electronic and pop stuff, it was just a different world from the metal stuff, like completely different, very exciting to jump into. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take music seriously. I'm going to release music under my own name instead of a band. And I'm going to try doing EDM. And that was kind of my first dabs into making music under my name, was like some kind of EDM or electronic music. And it wasn't great at first. It took me a little bit to figure it out. But once I did, I started trying to market my own music and get into it more seriously and try to, spread the word. And that's kind of roughly taking us to where we are today. Now, you might not know this, but I have a few YouTube channels, one of which is my main YouTube channel, which if you're here, you're probably not the target audience for that, because that was like for music artists showing how to make music production, more recently music business and music marketing, because one thing I've always loved doing is learning something myself and then teaching it. Back in the day, I used to teach screaming lessons on that YouTube channel when I was doing metal mostly. Then I was doing music production and sound design, and now it's music business, music marketing. Whatever is my thing I love the most at the moment, or I'm most passionate about at the moment, and learning myself, is the thing I've always kind of shared on that channel. And it's doing pretty good. At least right now, it's like 37,000 subscribers on that channel. Like, again, if you're watching these videos, you're probably not the target market for that unless you also happen to be a music artist. But I do have another channel called Andrew Southworth Music, and that's just for my music videos. And I might start doing more of the stuff you're seeing in this sequence, like behind the scenes, my music stuff, bringing that back onto that other channel. So I'm a pretty active YouTube creator as well. I make on that main channel, I make at least a video, often twice a week when I have the time. And it's been a long time passion. I've been doing it for over a decade. So that's kind of the gist of my history. Now I'll just kind of leave some fun facts about myself. So even though I do a lot of stuff, like I do YouTube, I own a business called Genera Studios where I sell products for music artists. And I release music, normally like once a month or every 2 months I'm releasing new music. And I have a bunch of side projects. I actually do work full time as a mechanical engineer. So I still love doing engineering, and I still am passionate about it. And aside from that, I'm a huge coffee fan. Always have a coffee off to the side. When I was in college, I worked at Starbucks for 5 years. And that was kind of another like childhood dream of mine. Like I loved Starbucks as a kid because I've been a huge coffee fan. Like, so I think when I was 5 years old, I loved coffee. And it was like a stupid childhood dream to work at Starbucks. And once I turned like 18 or 19, I worked there. My first job was fast food, and that was awful. But I worked at Starbucks through college, and that was like probably I grew to hate it over the years, not because of the company or anything, but just because of the type of work it is, like food service kind of mixed with retail. It's not really for me, I feel like, because I don't get to use like my creativity and like thinking. It's more just like busy work kind of stuff. So I didn't like it, but for the first few years it was a lot more fun, and I got to get a lot of free coffee and learn a lot about coffee. Ironically, now I'm not very picky about coffee. A lot of people who love Starbucks are very snobby, like, oh, I wouldn't drink that. I like me an iced coffee. That's Copper. Hey, Copper, quiet. If you haven't seen the studio tour video, I don't know what order this is, but these videos are. But you'll see Copper in that video if you haven't already seen him before. He's somewhat of a crybaby when he hears trucks outside. But this is just an iced coffee. Dunkin' Donuts blend, which is the biggest competitor of Starbucks, but it's the cheapest now, and it gets me going. So, I think that's pretty much all the fun facts about myself that I can think of. I'd love to know a little bit more about you. Like, if you're here because you've liked some of my music, or maybe you saw it and you were just curious, feel free to reply to the email where you got this video and just be like, hey, I like doing this. My name's this, and whatever, I'll reply to you. It's just kind of cool for me to be able to talk to people who like my music. I've done a lot on like marketing my music on Spotify and stuff, and I've gotten a lot of people to hear my music, but not too much where I've interacted with the people who listen to it. But it's always fun to connect with someone that likes what I'm making, and maybe you're a music artist yourself, and I'd love to check out your stuff too. But anyways, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. As I said, this wasn't scripted. It's just off the cuff. I realized I had some like 30 minutes free. Oh, you see one dog back there. That was Copper. And so I decided to just jump on camera and record this. And so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoy this kind of studio pass thing. But yeah, have a fantastic day.